What is up, guys? Welcome in. My name is Nick and welcome to the channel. Now you join me today behind the wheel of the new Ferrari, the one that was released this week to Car Pass, and we are racing around Road America here, and it was going to be a normal sort of let's take the new car out into the lobbies and see how we get on type deal, and that is still what is going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be a slightly different one because this is probably going to be my last run through GTs, at least for a bit. I didn't really enjoy, they didn't have terrible runs. I mean, I didn't have great runs in these races, spoiler, but yeah, just didn't have much fun in it, to be honest. It was just kind of annoying, and I don't really do this to be annoying or be annoyed. Well, I am annoying, that's kind of down to you, not me, but I don't do this to get annoyed, let's put it this way. I do this to make content and to have fun, and yeah, I just wasn't having it, wasn't feeling it for these races here. So anyway, I'll stop waffling on about something that isn't what you're watching currently. We're currently going through our second attempt at a qualifying lap. Our first one was not great at a 2:07.6. We managed to find just under a quarter of a second to a 2:07.4, but on our third lap here we drop a wheel onto the curb on the right hand side here, so it gets us all kinds of out of shape through the left-hander. Coming up over the crest, the following left-hander again all out of shape because I was completely thrown off of my rhythm, and yeah, we're going to drop nearly a second, so we're just going to put a pin in that one and call it done. So yeah, not a great showing. I did enjoy this Ferrari. I spent a fair bit of time tuning it, to be honest, but it just doesn't feel the same as it did, so I'm not really sure what's going on with it. But yeah, I wanted to take a quick opportunity just to let you know, the ones who haven't seen or known already, I have set up a Discord server for anyone who's interested and wants to get involved with the channel, along with a forum on the Blown Up Piston Motorsport website that I have also created. So it's where we will be hosting all of the events going forward, so if you do want to get involved in that, do please sign up on the forum and join the Discord for some good times with the people there as well. And finally, I do want to say thank you to all of the people who have signed up for the BPM membership club. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. So we're going to be setting off from P12. We get a relatively clear start here. I was a bit worried the Ferrari felt like it was going to have a very long first gear when I was tuning it, but I haven't really gone in and fiddled with the gearbox because they are quite long gears, but I quite enjoy them, to be honest. But yeah, I was worried it was going to have a Licenza type issue getting off the line, but it seems to be all right. We were catching the Aston Martin through the second part of the start there. We've got very conservative the first part of the start here, just making sure we don't get run off the road. We are stuck on the outside here. We've got the Bentley getting sent sideways in front of us. I think he just put his wheel onto the grass as he was trying to pull out that corner, and that just sent him straight across the track in front of my path. Everyone else seems to have managed to escape without being affected by it, to be honest, but yeah, that's kind of par for course. As is that KTM there, just sort of reconfiguring itself as it slides across the apex after being punted onto the grass. So yeah, we've not had the greatest of starts. We're still down P15, so we dropped 3 places. Apologies to that BMW. I did not expect you to sling it up the inside coming through that left-hander. I was not really, it's not really one I expect people to make a move on, and he did try it and it was fair enough. But yeah, that was my fault. I do apologise for that one. Coming into the right-hander here at the end of the back straight, we've got the green KTM in front of us getting all kinds of out of shape, and then we're getting swamped by another one behind us. They swap positions as we come to the final corner, but the grey one manages to slide off into the grass, so we're going to get that position back, and we're up to P14. So been a bit of an interesting start here. The green KTM as well, KTM even, I'm going to do that a few times through this video, I do apologise. Yeah, the green KTM there gets all kinds of out of shape through the left-hander. Coming up over the hill, the inevitable happens. I go very conservative, knowing that he's going to overshoot his mark, because everyone always does, and we get the switchback and we get in front of him there coming through the right-hander. So coming down the back straight here, we've closed into the Porsche. We're a couple of laps later where we had a gap between us and the cars in front. So coming into the end of lap 4, we're in the pit window now because we're in mediums. Doing the medium strat in the Ferrari seems to be the best one, to be honest. It's not aggressive, but not kind on its tyres. Porsche managed to sling it round the outside of the Lamborghini, but we're just going to sit behind it because I do not think this is done yet. I'm just going to give them all the space they want. The Porsche tries to cut across to the pit lane. The Lamborghini doesn't sort of read the situation, and we're just going to swing right round the outside and claim 2 free positions, jumping into P8 by the time we actually get into pit lane, because a couple of people had already pit at this point. You know what time it is, we are in the pit lane, so this is the time where I do ask you to drop me a like, leave me a comment, and if you are enjoying this, do please subscribe for plenty more videos in the future. Coming out of the pit lane here, we're going to check to make sure no one is coming behind us before we move over to claim the racing line. We've got a little bit of a gap to the cars in front. We are on matching tyres, so it's going to take a little bit to close this down, but we do get there by the end of lap 6 as we come down in the straight, trying to get the overrun here on the McLaren. We go to the outside, he drifts over in the braking zone, and we come together He gets all kinds of out of shape. I just about managed to hold it, but once again my wheel refuses to shift down when I want it to, so we still managed to just about get ahead, but we are not as far ahead as I wanted. Once again, completely thrown out of my rhythm here. I find Road America is very much a rhythm track. Once I'm sort of disturbed from it, it does take me a good couple of corners to sort of get back into it. I'm not really sure where this guy was going for a gap because there was not a car's width there, but we held it tight. We wait for more inevitable to happen. There we go. We try the switchback. He does manage to just about avoid us, but now this bit I looked at a few times. I thought when I was racing I was giving him a car's width, but in the footage I do move over a little bit. There is still a car's width there, but just about. So I think that one's a 50-50. If it were me, I would have backed out at that point, but obviously he doesn't need to. But yeah, that was not great there. It was kind of ruined both of us, me being a little bit too aggressive and him being a little bit too aggressive. But yeah, we've rejoined back into the race here. We're right into the thick of it now with another KTM. This is the one that we saw going sideways at the beginning of the race. He very much gets aggressive here, trying to chop my nose coming into the final corner, pretty much making me stop before we actually get to the apex. So it's going to be an interesting last lap here. The KTM gets all kinds of out of shape through turn 1. We're going to put ourselves up the inside. Again, I felt like I was moving in a straight line. He sort of moves over in the braking zone and clatters the side of me. I'm not really sure who's at fault, so I'm just going to let him go. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one to fight out here for this last lap. So we're just going to come into the left-hander. The McLaren gets all kinds of out of shape and deep into the grass. KTM looks for a go up the inside. They're going to really go at it here, so we're going to see if we can benefit. We managed to slide up the inside of the McLaren, and we're looking to see if we can dart up the inside of the KTM as he's very slow through the right-hander. We managed to get up alongside him on the outside, spotting the braking point just before the 2 marker on the right hand side there, going too wide through the corner, both giving each other space, him leaving enough on the outside, me leaving enough on the inside. We're going to hold the inside line. It's quite slow through here, but I didn't want to drift out too far wide considering we've only just sort of got back going after the last laps coming together. We managed to get through the carousel ahead, and as we come to the right hand kink here, I just take a little bit too much too early, unsettle the car, and I just run out of tarmac. So we end up sliding all the way down the wall, dropping down from P10 to P12, and that's pretty much going to be it, unfortunately. Yeah, kind of annoying race with this one. So only really myself to blame on that one. The car sort of bit me as I was coming through the fast right-hander, that kink there, and yeah, I just ran out of tarmac. So a bit annoyed we didn't get a P10, but you know, generally my aim is to get top 10s in most of these things, but we managed to get a P12, so it's not the worst that it could have been. We shall now move on to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We managed to put in a not particularly quick time at a 1:24.9. I'll save you from doing all the qualifying here, but that was good enough for P6. We're just going to go straight into this action because we're going to be doing a triple header in this one. So I want to keep this moving. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But yeah, not too bad a starting position. P6. The Ferraris felt a bit better here. The weather is a bit meh, and the weather is going to get very meh as we get into this race here. But we get, once again, we get a good start. We've got the same KTM in front of us from the last race, so hopefully we won't have as many interactions as we did previously. Once again, we're on the outside, making sure we don't get taken out until we do get taken out by, wouldn't you guess it, someone in a Red Bull livery. So we just take across the grass there just till we can get back onto the track. We're down to P10, make that P11, back up to P10. We're getting a little bit of tapping from the people behind us. It's all very messy to start this race off here. We are just looking to see if we can get through. We leave enough space on the inside because it looked like we were too abreast. We're looking to maybe have a dive up the inside here coming into the left-hander, but not really going on there in the first lap. Not quite got the confidence in it. Kind of wish I had, because the Dodge is all kinds of out of shape. We're getting bullied by what appears to be a Porsche, which will appear momentarily. There he is. Did not see him slide up the inside, so get muscled out wide. We've got a BMW off into the grass on the left. We're going to hold it tight to the right to make sure we don't cut into him as we go up onto the banking. I'm going to brake nice and early, trying to get the inside line. That Porsche very nearly chops out my nose completely as well. Gets all kinds of out of shapes, tries to get on the power, but manages to hold it. We get another tap from behind, and then we get spun. So not really the direction I want to be facing at this point in the race, it must be said. So we've now gone from P6 to P18. Starting to see why I am probably going to be giving GT a miss for a bit, I think, maybe. So we managed to catch up at the beginning of lap 2. We have a very interesting Mercedes AMG line there, as he was basically turn in and die kind of motif through that corner. So we get stuck behind him through the switchy bits through the middle of the track here. We managed to slide up the inside as we come through the right-hander towards the banking once again, and we managed to get that position up. So we're now up to P17 and looking to see if we can slide up the inside. just about holding it. We get a little tap as we brake for the apex here. Another few taps as we go towards the apex on this one. He just apparently doesn't realise I am on his inside. Yeah, so it's getting real scrappy, this one here. We're now stuck behind this, I mean, his internet connection doesn't look particularly stable, but the Corvette there just seeming to let me by. I don't quite know how I had that much overspeed on him, but anyway. Braking towards the left-hander, and we just get completely taken out going into the left-hander for the infield section. So yeah, I was braking at the right point, turning at the right point. The guy, I don't know, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he missed his brake point, but he didn't really do much to avoid me there. So yeah, frustrations were building, unfortunately, especially up until this point. As we come through onto the banking section, we go from fine visibility to being able to see about 8 inches in front of my face, especially as the guy spins out and there's additional tyre smoke as we try and spot the braking point for the right-hander. So yeah, this one's just got a lot more difficult, especially with me just driving off the track. That does not help things. That is the guy who is leading the race going past after his pit stop. That's how bad a race we're having. We're down to P15. We do get up to P6, thankfully, because everyone else sort of gets out of the way with the pit stop. So we have another go on this Corvette. He's on the right hand side, looking to see if we can outbrake him coming into the left hander. We just about get it stopped. I go a bit deep though, so I let off the throttle and let him go because that was my error. So I'm just going there, but then he loses it coming through the right hander, claps my nose, and yeah, we've spun around for the 3rd time in this race. So 3 to 1, we're spinning about once every 2 1/3 laps at this point, so you know, that's pretty good going. So now we are in P10 before even taking our pit stop. The tyres at this point just gone into moderate wear, so we are losing grip completely everywhere as a challenge goes past me there very quickly. And we slide into the pit lane, emphasis on slide, at P17. So yeah, this is definitely a race to forget, unfortunately, with this one. So we're just going to get through the last few laps here. We've bolted on mediums. I probably should have done softs to maybe give myself the best chance of finding something at the end. But as we come out, as you can see, we're apparently just walking through thick fog here. It's like air soup. Just can't see anything. So we skip a lap here. We've got someone coming out the pit lane, the challenge on my right hand side. Was not expecting him to be right at the apex by the time I got there, but there he is. Yeah, so we're still down in P18. This is really not one to write home about. We're just really struggling to find the braking points if the right hander, as did that challenge Stradali there, who went off and decided to be a lawnmower for about 5 minutes. Oh, there goes the Corvette, who apparently missed the pit stop and realised he actually needs to change his tyres. Yeah, this has all kind of gone a bit weird, to be honest. The fog has brought out the weirdness, and yeah, it's just not, yeah, it's just not been a good one. This one, yeah, P16. Still about to start the last lap in P16. We've got another position potentially coming our way with the car in the pit lane, but as you can see, being the Ferrari Challenge car, it does go about 8 million miles an hour, so flies past me as if I'm standing still. We all slam the anchors on, getting trying the apex here, and oh look, it's that AMG from earlier on. So apparently I cut the track there. I couldn't actually see where the track limit were, but we managed to avoid that incident. We're up to P15. We almost get taken out by the Ferrari coming into the infield section once again to make it the 4th spin of this race, but thankfully we don't. And finally some sweet relief with the end of this race, because this has been, I say one to forget, this has been one to lobotomise. I do not want to remember this at all. Yeah, P14 from P6. Yeah, let's just move on, shall we? This looks much better. We're at Kyalami. We like Kyalami. Kyalami is still indifferent to us, but we like Kyalami. So we're going to do our first qualifying time here with a 1:47.2, otherwise known as incredibly slow, but still good enough for a provisional pole. Coming out through barbecue at the first sector, we managed to improve our time by about 2/10. Through Sunrise, we managed to lose a little bit of time here, and again through the S's we managed to find it back though, so we're still about 2/10 up. Braking towards the hairpin at the top of the hill, it's crucial to get a good run through here. Coming through Cheetah here, we get nice and aggressive on the curbs. That's about a 4/10 improvement. Braking a little bit late, not quite able to get the nose in as tight to the curbing as I'd want. Running it out wide, still keeping it a clean lap, over 6/10 improvement now, and that is going to be good enough for P2. And now we frantically leave to make sure that we can get our fuel and tyres ready for the race. But yeah, we're off with the 3rd one here, starting from P2. We get a great launch off the line here, but we do get left a little bit through the second phase here from this Lamborghini in front of us. We've got a Corvette and Lamborghini behind us as well. We're looking to see if we can just hold position coming through the first part here. braking it around the 100, looking to see if we can get in close. We don't quite get as far to the left as we want. I wasn't quite sure where the car behind was because of the arrows, so we left a little bit of space just in case. Looking just to see if we can stay as close to this guy ahead as we can. He was got about a second a lap quicker than in qualifying. We get a little tap through barbecue there from the pink Lamborghini behind us, and as we come through the S's here, we're looking to see if we can hold the inside. Apparently we get another tap as well. We're just going to put ourselves on the insides for the hairpin at the top of the hill, hold ourselves on the apex so the guy can't get the switch back on it. Gives me a little tap to say that he's, I don't know, trying to drive through me or something. I don't know. He's going to be an important part of this race, just FYI. As we come down through mine shaft, we're just not going to worry about defending this too much. Just going to take my normal line. The guy absolutely sends it first of all into the back of me, and then through the corner, so he manages to get ahead. To be honest, I wasn't too unhappy about that. The guy was being incredibly aggressive, and I just kind of wanted him to go past. We're going to sit with him through Cheetah, get a much better run over the curb here. He goes very deep through the brakes, and we cut back here, a much tighter line through the final corner, and we managed to get back in front for P2. So yeah, not too bad. We are going to be giving up the slipstream all the way down this straight here, so I'm just going to pay attention to the screen here. As we come through the slight right, I'm just going to let it drift out a little bit wider than it was, back into the line, just to make his entry into this corner a bit tighter than it would otherwise have been. The inevitable happens there as he slides through without braking himself, and we're just going to cut back in front and get P2 with the old switcheroo once again. Coming through up towards barbecue, we go defensive, holding it on the apex. He has enough space just to slide it up to the inside. His nose is alongside me. He tries to box me out onto the grass, but we're not having any of it. You got to stand up for yourself a little bit in these sort of races. In reply to that though, he just decides to use me as a little bit of a brake, taps me wide, which gives him a chance to sling it around the inside. And as we come through the left-hander, we're going to get right up close and personal to the rear bumper of that Lamborghini, but crucially we didn't make any form of contact. I know that's a foreign concept to you, but we managed to get it done. So coming down into turn 1, the pink Lamborghini manages to outbrake himself once again, so we hold a much tighter line, close up a little bit there. We get a little bit of oversteer on exit. We've got a KTM sniffing all around our back bottom once again. We're going to try and get it in off the curbing, but not quite as tight as I wanted it to be. I had to open up the steering a little bit because it looked like the KTM was going to be alongside. So we run down towards Sunset. We're just going to put ourselves in the middle of the track so we don't get anyone slinging it up the inside. Run it through Sunset, running right the way out towards the curb. We go back to the right hand side. I didn't feel the need to go defensive because I thought the guy was far enough back, but he sticks his nose up alongside me and we just tag a little bit onto the entrance of the corner. But he does the nice thing and waits for me to get going once again. We do lose a position to the Aston Martin as he comes through. So as we come through the S's here, we're just looking to see if we can get a good run out of the as we can. We get a little bit out of shape with the curb and we get a tap that pushes us wide, drops the wheel onto the grass, and for about the 18th time in these races we are spun around. So yeah, this has really been a series of races to forget, to be honest. We're now down in P10. We've got a pair of headlights bearing down on us, but we managed to keep them behind us. We gained a couple of positions through pit stops. We're now on lap 5. Everyone else is pitting to go onto the medium, and I thought I would do something different, because if I pit now I'm just going to come out behind them once again. So what I'm going to do is try and extend this stint one lap, see if I can get softs for the final bit of the race. And would you know it, as we come past pit lane, there is Mr. Pink Lamborghini coming out on his new tyres. So we managed to get in front of him, braking at the 100 board, just keeping it in shape. We don't have a lot of grip, but you know, you've got to risk it for a biscuit sometimes. And we've got crucially in front of this guy. Now normally I would let the leaders through, it's not really in my interest, but this guy annoyed me earlier, so I'm just going to try and hold him up as much as I can while being sort of being pleasant, because you never know, something might happen and we could end up making a position out of it towards the end here. So we go very defensive through the left-hander, we squeeze him a little bit. There was definitely a car's width out there on the right hand side, but not much more. As you can see, I'm not in a rush to get this hurried off here. We managed to hold it through the S's. Each will have a look to see if we can get round the outside. We're going to put ourselves on the inside, braking here, just loitering on the apex. The guy turns into me. We get on the power before he does because he gets out of shape after the door-to-door bang, and we're going to send it down through my shaft here. We've got about half a second gap on him, but I know he's just going to sling it up the inside. We have to lift because of grip just to make sure we keep that in there. So I'm not going to worry too much about defending the inside. I do leave the inside line there for him because he does appear to be alongside me. But at this point he gets a bit too frustrated with me holding him up and just decides to spin me out. So yeah, this is the kind of calibre of people that I've encountered today. I mean, I was antagonising him, but I was the lead car. I can do what I want. Doesn't matter if that's my race or not. So at the end of that lap we do pit for softs. There's not really going to be much, to be honest, but yeah, thanks for sticking with me if you're at this point. If you are, leave me a comment, let me know you've made it to the final pit stop. That would be great. So we come out of the pits here. We are P10 by the best part of about 7 seconds by the time we get to the end of the start-finish straight. So we have a lot to do. At the end of this lap, we managed to pull in about 1.5 seconds or so, coming into 6 seconds behind. But we have an egregious off-track by running about 18 inches off the track there, so that is definitely worth a 1 second penalty. Thank you very much, Forza. And at the end of lap 8, beginning of lap 9, we are within 3 seconds. And look, we have some glorious taillights in front of us, so we finally have our carrots that we have been chasing. We're coming through the left-hander after sunset. Little bit of dust. We're looking to see if people are squabbling. Coming up through the apex of the hairpin, at the top of the hill. We see someone going off into the grass. The Corvette has just run that guy completely off into the gravel, so we are going to get one free position as a nice consolation prize. We do have much better grip than the people in front of us. We close up right the way towards Cheetah here. If we didn't have this 1 second penalty, this would be far more interesting, but we're not going to get any benefit out of it because only one person around here has a penalty, and it's for 0.2 of a second, which is the Dodge Viper on the right here. We're just going to gun it to the line to see how close we can get, and yeah, we're going to be obviously P9. Yeah, P9. Yeah, not greatest. Big hit to the old rating as well, 4856. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, like I said, probably going to be my last GT race at least for a while. If you do want to see one where I do a lot better, in fact it was my first actual win in multiplayer, do please click the one on screen now. But if not, thank you very much for watching. Do please subscribe, and I hope to see you in the future. Cheers.